This video is a bit off the cuff, just kind of threw everything together to talk about the topic, how often should I post? The age-old question that nobody knows the answer to. You get people who are always telling you you need to post every single day on Instagram, and you need to make sure you're posting regularly once a week on YouTube. And while there's something to be said about consistency with online content creation, making, all that good stuff, it doesn't have to be a rhythm that you're enslaved to. I don't think that that's a healthy way to live at all, and it's just something I've felt very passionate about recently, because I've felt the pressure to need to be posting every single week, and I realize that's just a total detriment to my mental and physical health when I feel that, because I'll sacrifice eating, and I'll sacrifice sleep, and I'll sacrifice time with my family and being in community with other people to do so. So at that point, what's the point of it? Anyway, Jesse Driftwood, we had a conversation with him recently, and he said something profound. He said this:
I don't think these types of things in particular, how to run a business in such a way that you can be sustainable and find some type of happiness and fulfillment in it. I don't think there's any one way to do that. There is one or a couple of ways to grow businesses quickly, but that doesn't interest me. I'm interested in what way did you grow your business so that you still felt like you along the way. And for some people, that is posting 3 times a day and doing whatever. And awesome. If that makes your brain gears connect and feel good, do it. So long as you're not harming other people, do that thing. It's going to work for you. But for me, it just causes too much stress. I post maybe monthly on Instagram, maybe, sometimes bi-monthly. And I don't mean twice a month. I mean the other bi-monthly. I don't know. It's like I'm blindfolded. I'm just feeling what feels sharp and what feels soft and cushy. And I'll go soft and cushy.
I resonate with that so much, and it goes along with how Jesse makes his videos, because he strays from the traditional filmmaking route. He doesn't make horizontal videos sometimes, or he does on YouTube. He'll make vertical videos. He'll use different cameras. He'll do all sorts of crazy things that kind of make no sense in the traditional filmmaking world, but that's awesome because that's who he is. That's why he's different. That's why he stands out. And in the same token, you don't have to fall in line with all the things that people say about needing to post regularly either, especially if your stuff is so much different than everybody else's stuff. It's going to be more profound every time it's posted. But what he said about building a sustainable business, I just wholeheartedly agree with that. If you're building something that is unsustainable for you, where you have to post regularly even though you don't want to, it's just going to feel like a job. And why did we get into this in the first place as creatives? We didn't want to do the typical job thing. So why do we keep forcing ourselves to be put in line with what the expectations are in a salary-paying job, sitting behind a desk and cranking out something continuously all the time? I get it. If you aren't in a place where your creativity, your filmmaking, photography, design, any of your creative work doesn't sustain you financially, there is no shame in having a part-time or full-time job and building your business, your creative business on the side. I actually think that's a really sustainable way to do it. But it's all about mentality. Once you have the ability to go full-time, build yourself enough of a cushion so that you don't have to feel the necessity to have to post all the time. And even if that does mean you have to pick up a part-time job to feel that comfort while not having to be enslaved to posting every single week or every single day, then do that. I wholeheartedly believe that your mental health and your physical health and all that stuff is far more important in building a sustainable business. And I think Jesse was leading to that as well. Then he also talked about how there is clarity in making those decisions when you surround yourself with people, when you have blind spots, so that those people can speak into that and help you make the right decisions. He said this:
I have a circle of community that is other YouTubers, people like yourselves and people like Peter and Chris and Maddie and all these other people that I actually almost never make videos with. I very rarely collaborate with these people, but I text with them all the time and ask for feedback and ask for advice. And honestly, I feel like people don't know this enough. Pete is just the greatest guy. He's a 10 out of 10 solid, good human that really cares for. He just texts me all the time to just tell me, he's like, I've been thinking about you. My wife and I, we've been talking, we really care for you. We hope you're in a good place. We know that you're in a hard season, right? Just so encouraging. And then when he knows I'm having struggles with, not just life stuff, but YouTube stuff, he'll weigh in and make sure that I always know he's someone that I can ask for help from, right? So there's those types of people, and I love that I can trust them because they've gone where I haven't yet. They're further down this pathway of internet fame or influencer stardom, whatever it is. But they know things that I don't yet because they've seen it at a scale that I haven't. So I trust them for those types of questions. And then even more importantly, really, well, there's my family community, just my wife and my 2 kids. That's the most important one, really. And then I have my community in my city, some of my best friends, like a church that I'm a part of, and these people that I've spent hours and hours and hours talking with in all sorts of settings. And so they know me sometimes better than I do because they've heard me articulate what kind of direction I see my life and what I want more of and what I want less of. And so there are these people that I trust can actually give me feedback when I have blind spots. And then, like you said, like there's the studio here, which is a surprisingly diverse group of filmmakers. We all kind of do YouTube. I mostly do YouTube, and everyone else also does YouTube, but they do other things, and they do other things better than I do. And so it's awesome. We have a group chat that's overly active, if anything. It's like we all have to mute it sometimes. But where we share work and ask ideas and say, hey, what if I made a video about this? Or could I lend a hand from one of you in this type of thing? So yeah, community is just the most important thing, I would say. If anything, yeah, it's the most important thing. And I do feel a deep sadness that when I have videos that have more of, let's say, the studio community involved in it, I feel a sadness towards how many people comment saying, I wish I had something like that.
I couldn't agree more. Creative Club, what we made here, this is our second studio. We had our old studio for 4 years, but before that we were meeting in my dining room. We were just making it happen. Like we just wanted to work together. We wanted to help each other. We wanted to, hire each other. We wanted to be creative with one another. And it manifested itself in getting a studio. And that might not be what you're capable of doing right now, but I challenge you, like if you're feeling that same way he was talking about, he said it's sad to hear people say that they don't have that for themselves. You could be that agent of change. You could be the person that actually makes that texting group, that makes that Facebook group, that makes that MySpace top friends list. Whatever way you do it, you could be the agent of change to start something like that around you. You don't have to wait for somebody else to do it. You could come up with an idea or philosophy to make that community happen and to manifest itself into existence and build that community up locally. It doesn't have to be online, it doesn't have to be across the states, it doesn't have to be in other countries. It could be right around where you are if you decide to take steps in making it happen. And then those people can continually be that group of people that helps you with those blind spots, that helps you recognize that you don't need to be posting all the time, that you don't need to be falling in line with everything that everybody says about the algorithms changing and all these things. So I just wanted to make this because I feel very passionate about it, if you couldn't tell. But I also want to let you know that we had a full-on hour-long conversation with Jesse on Rally Caps. It's dropped today. You can go watch it. It's up here. And yeah, just go. We have a bunch of other episodes talking about this stuff as well on the podcast. It's the heart behind the podcast. It's sustainable creative entrepreneurship and what it means to actually do that well instead of just focusing on the things that don't matter. So go and listen to that if you'd like. And yeah, thanks for listening to me passionately talk about this subject. See you soon.